There's something honest and steady about putting your hands in the dirt. Folks have known for generations that working in the garden, it just makes you feel better. You breathe a little easier. Your thoughts, they settle down. And the world, it feels manageable. Science has finally caught up with that old wisdom. Researchers now say the soil itself carries living helpers, tiny bacteria that can lift your mood, sharpen your focus, and even help your body fight off sickness. One of them is called Mycobacterium vaccae. When you breathe it in or get it on your skin, it can spark the release of serotonin. That's the chemical that helps with calm and happiness. Tests have shown that it eases stress and it steadies emotions. What used to be written off as just dirt, it is now understood as a living world that speaks to both our nerves and our immune system. And there's also something folks call grounding. Kicking off your shoes, walking barefoot in the grass or soil. Studies show that it could actually lower your blood pressure, steady your heart rhythms, and help with sleep. It might sound quite simple, but researchers have tracked drops in cortisol, the stress hormone, in the people that do it. The exact reasons are still debated, but the results are steady enough to be noticed. People have trusted these connections for centuries. Among the Navajo people, sand painting. It was not just art, but part of healing rituals. It was all about connecting body and spirit through direct contact with earth. In Japan, the practice of Shinrin Yoku, or forest bathing. It grew from the belief that time with trees and soil, it brought calm and strength. Even in old farming communities across Africa, red clay was sometimes used as both medicine and a spiritual protection. Different cultures, far apart, all came to the same truth, that touching the land ultimately restores your balance. And then there's the medicine cabinet of plants. Generations before, they used elderberry syrup to fight off colds, fire cider to warm the body and clear the lungs, and strong-smelling oils drawn from herbs to soothe or heal. None of these replace modern medicine, but what they do is remind us how our grandparents leaned on what grew around them. That balance, taking the best of old remedies alongside new treatments, that's where many folks are finding comfort today. And the research continues. Universities in England, Bristol, and London, they've shown that Mycobacterium vaccae, it switches on brain cells tied to serotonin, and that points to a natural antidepressant. Other studies in health journals show that grounding, it can thin the blood, and that lowers the chance of clots and might actually help circulation overall. Gardening itself, it counts as exercise too. Just a half-hour weeding can burn around 150 calories and strengthen all your muscles. That is without a gym membership, just a patch of ground and steady work. And this is not only theory. In Milwaukee, farmer Will Allen, once a professional basketball player, turned his attention to raising food in the city. Through his work with growing power farms, he showed how soil and gardening could bring health directly back to neighborhoods as well as to individuals. His story is a clear example of using the soil as medicine, not just science. The heart of it is simple, whether it's a morning pulling weeds barefoot in the cool grass, or steam rising off a pot of herbs. These small things, it all brings us back to balance. It reminds us that health doesn't just come in a bottle from the pharmacy. Sometimes it's right there in the ground, waiting for you to notice it, like the smell of fresh soil after a summer rain, rich and alive. This episode is dedicated to Educator Kate in North Carolina, whose inspiration helped bring today's story to life. These are Interesting Things with JC.